Welcome back to the Sam JW channel. The transfer window has officially opened for January, and of course we're going to go through all the bits of Oxford United news that come through during this month. We've got bits of news to talk about today. Of course, Malcom Ebiowei has officially gone back to Crystal Palace. He's had his loan terminated / he's been recalled. Obviously, in the summer I was talking about, what a good signing that was. Didn't really feature in the league, had a handful of cup appearances for this football club. Whether it was a case of didn't train right, attitude wasn't right, wasn't favoured by coaches, it hasn't worked out at all, and he's gone back to Palace. We've also, of course, Ben Nelson injured for 4 months. I think he's got 2 months left of his recovery. I'd be very surprised if his loan wasn't terminated this month to allow Oxford another spot in their squad registration and also another loan. The one that's kind of a bit more up in the air is that of Dane Scarlett. Now, what's interesting about Dane Scarlett is that after Rowett had come in, there were discussions, or the reports I should say, by journalists saying that Spurs were considering calling him because they weren't sure Gary Rowett would favour him. Now, whether that's changed because, of course, of Mark Harris's injury against Preston yesterday, we don't know. Of course, at the minute, we've only got one fit striker at the football club because Will Goodwin has gone out on loan to Wigan Athletic. Look, he's played all of 11 games for this football club. Scored a goal against Northampton, of course. But he needs regular first-team football. Obviously, really struggled with injuries and stuff since he arrived last January for 400k. So I think this loan could be really good for Will Goodwin. Hopefully, he can get some proper minutes under his belt, get some confidence back, and come back and be a valued member of the squad. But we have made our first signing of the transfer window, that being for a club record fee, we'll talk about that in a minute, of Ole Romeny from FC Utrecht for a fee of €2 million. 2 million euros, it's been reported by Dutch outlet De Telegraaf. 1.6 million pounds, of course. The club haven't confirmed a transfer fee. They never do. They haven't confirmed a transfer fee for Yonks. So we're left to speculate and left to take reported transfer fees as what they are. So that's almost twice what we spent on Siriki Dembele just 6 months ago. We'll get into his record and stuff in a minute. Let's go through the club's statement, shall we? Ole Romeny joins Oxford United. Oxford United delighted to announce the signing of highly rated forward Ole Romeny on a long-term contract. Dutch outlet De Telegraaf also reporting not only the fee, but also that it's expected to be a 3.5-year contract. He's soon to turn 25, so he will be here until he's 28. The 24-year-old arrives in Oxford from the Eredivisie side FC Utrecht, where he played 13 league games this season for a team battling at the top of the table. We're going to talk about those number of games he's featured in the league, because they're not telling the whole truth there. Started his career at NEC Nijmegen. I've butchered that, I know for a fact. But he started his career with NEC in the Netherlands. Romeny then joined Emmen in 2022, where he scored 11 goals in 33 top-flight appearances in his first full season in the Eredivisie. A former Netherlands under-20 representative, Romeny moved to FC Utrecht in 2023, and in November of 2024, he opted to represent Indonesia at national team level. Of course, he is the second Indonesian or declared Indonesian international to play for. He's not been capped yet, but I suspect it's only a matter of time until maybe he plays a couple of games for Oxford, and then the coach can then justify bringing him into the full Indonesia setup. Speaking of signing for the club, Ollie said, "I'm really excited by this move and I can't wait to get started. I had very good conversations with the club, and I know they're extremely ambitious, and I believe the plans they have in place will really suit me. As a player, I'm a forward that likes to make important contributions to the team. If I can't score goals, then I want to set them up for others, and I feel I am creative with the ball at my feet to do this. I want to come in and help the team win games. That's the most important thing. I also can't wait to meet all the supporters at the stadium. This is a quote from Gary Rowett. Utrecht head coach Gary Rowett said, even though I've only recently arrived at the club, I've had many conversations with the recruitment team about our plans for January window. He's pretty much said this already after the Millwall game to BBC Radio Oxford, saying that plans are in place for January and all that kind of stuff. Very early in those discussions, Ole's name was brought to my attention, and having watched a number of his clips, I'm pleased we can move quickly to bring him into the club. He's a very creative forward who can help both in scoring goals and making chances. He arrives with a wealth of experience at a very good level in the Netherlands, and it will be exciting to see what he can deliver. I have had a very good opportunity over the past few weeks to assess the squad in training and competitive action, and the recruitment team are working hard to make some additions this month to help us in our ambitions. This quote below from Ed Waldron, Head of Football Operations. We have studied Ole throughout the season, and we believe he is a talented player who still has plenty of room to grow. Having looked at the Eredivisie previously, we have watched Ole play on several occasions in person, and we are confident he will improve the quality of our group. Following Ole's decision to represent Indonesia in November, the club's connections allowed us to move quickly and ensure we could bring him at the earliest possible opportunity and give him the best chance of success this season. So that's the statement on Ole Romany's signing. He obviously already knows Hidde Tervest from his time at FC Utrecht. He knows Ruben Rodriguez reportedly, because Ruben used to live near where Ole Romany used to. But so he's got a good group around to help him settle at Oxford, and of course, like I said, I'm sure it won't be too long. A couple of games in, and the Indonesian national team will be calling him up, so he'll have a bit more of a chance to bond with Marcelino Ferdinand. He's due back, I think, very, very soon, if he's already back from that tournament that he was playing in for Indonesia. But I want to go back to this bit about the 24-year-old who arrives in Oxford from the Eredivisie side, FC Utrecht, where he played 13 league games this season for a team battling at the top of the table. Let's have a look at the Eredivisie table. They're third, a point above Feyenoord, Giants Feyenoord, a couple of points above AZ Alkmaar and FC Twente, big clubs in Dutch football. They are European regulars, more Europa League than Champions League for the most part in their history. They're a point above Feyenoord. They're, I think it's 14 points safe inside of that the European spots. They finished 7th last season, so they got a Conference League playoff spot. Well, first they had to play the other Dutch sides that finished in the spots. So they beat Go Ahead Eagles, but were beaten by Sparta Rotterdam and were knocked out of Conference League qualification. So bear that in mind. 17 matches played for FC Utrecht, sat third. Now, I had a little bit of this question when it was reported that Koki Sato was about to join QPR. There were reports we were interested in him. He obviously joined them on loan, I believe, from Lommel, but he'd spent the last 2 seasons with Sparta Rotterdam, and obviously, they got through the Conference League qualification games. Did Sparta Rotterdam, and that had me asking, it's very odd to jump, because I'd say the Eredivisie ever so slightly higher than the Championship. Obviously, very much depends on the sides. Definitely, you're probably looking at Premier League quality sides if you're looking at PSV or Ajax or Feyenoord. For the most part, obviously, AZ and Twente could probably be considered in that bracket as well. But for the most part, I'd say the majority of the areas is probably around Championship level. But they're able to get European football, so I've thought it was very, very odd that Koki Sato in that example would throw away a potential European place, or participation in European competition, to go and play for QPR. I have the exact same question with Ole Romany. I'm sure, given their 14 points inside those European places, that FC Utrecht are very, very confident they will finish in that spot. Now, I first heard about this through Dutch outlet De Telegraaf. They were the ones really floating this about, basically saying about how FC Utrecht were in for a bit of a large cash fall, because Ole Romeny was headed our way. So they reported the fee as €2 million, as I already said, £1.6 million. They also reported that FC Utrecht have signed Ole Romeny's replacement for €400,000. So, £1.2 million, or sorry, €1.6 million, I should say, available there for FC Utrecht for other signings this window. So if it was a case of they forced him out, okay. What also makes me question the transfer fee is this. His record this season. So he's got 2 goals in 8 starts. So the club said he's played 13 matches, but he's started 8. And he's been out of the side since October. If we look at his games, his last start was at the end of October in a 1-0 win, I believe that was, against Groningen. 1-0 win against Groningen. I played an hour and then was subbed off. After that, didn't play against Feyenoord. Played 25 minutes against. Hang on, that's the wrong way. We'll come back to those early starts in a minute. Didn't play against Feyenoord.Got half an hour in the Dutch Cup. Got 8 minutes against Sparta Rotterdam. Half an hour against Hercules. 11 minutes against his boyhood club. NEC, 9 minutes against PSV as his side were battered 5-2. Didn't play against Ajax, was an unused sub. Played 35 minutes against Almere City as his side won 3-1. And didn't feature in a 3-3 draw with Go Ahead Eagles, an 8-0 win in the Dutch Cup, or a 5-2 loss to Fortuna Sittard. So yeah, hasn't played or hasn't started a match since the end of October. Also, if we look here, it appears he had some kind of injury when he first joined FC Utrecht. He joined them in the summer window last season on a free transfer from SC Emmen. Must have had some kind of injury because he didn't play his first Eredivisie minutes. He only played 25 against Vitesse in January 2024. Fine. But his overall record is that of 28 available Eredivisie fixtures that he could have featured, and those where he's been in the matchday squad, he started just 12. He got 2 goals this season, 1 goal last season. If we look at the 2 goals that he got, it was the start of the season in his first and second appearance in the only goals in the game, the winner against Pek Zwolle, and a goal for his side in their 1-1 draw with SC Heerenveen, back-to-back. That's very positive. That being said, that's his only goal contributions this campaign. He hasn't had any other goal contributions for FC Utrecht other than his 3 goals, no assists. He's a tall player, 6'1". From what I've seen from some of the goals that he's been involved in, it is very much he will make the runs and be basically the second assister. Can play out wide or as a 10, can Ole Romeny. And I'm not doubting that this lad has quality, because in his first full season as an Eredivisie player, as the club noted in their statement, he scored 11 goals. He also got an assist in that time in I think it was 33. It was 33 matches, wasn't it? So that's a really good record for a lad who would have been 22-23 in his first full campaign in the Eredivisie. He also played 11 games with Willem II when he was on loan there from NEC in the 2021 campaign. So that is not a large sample size at FC Utrecht. So FC Utrecht, like I said, signed him on a free transfer in June of 2023 from FC Emmen. He didn't play until January, so really he's only had a year at FC Utrecht, and 12 starts, 28 league appearances in total, 3 goals, 0 assists. Is that a big enough sample size for the club to go, we're going to smash our transfer record, given that Siriki Dembele's contribution last season in the Championship for a Birmingham side that were, by Birmingham standards, hopeless. He played 33 league games in total, started 23 of those, got 6 goals and an assist in the Championship. Bit larger of a sample size, and we'll be kind to Ole Romeny and say half. We paid half of his transfer fee to bring in Tariq Dembele in August. And I also have the question, has our financial situation changed that much in just a couple of months? Where our record signing was 900k, and we can then go and spend 1.6 million to sign Ole Romeny. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that the club will have put a lot of money into the transfer kitty for this January window, because it's all about bringing players in that can keep us in the division. But again, 1.6 million euros for a player with a small sample size. Is it a coincidence that he's also just declared for Indonesia? I'll leave that up for you to decide. Like I say, he's shown in the Eredivisie that he has qualities. That's a pretty reasonable goal return, especially for a side that they just got promoted. They were around that bottom half battle. They're back in the second tier now. It's a good return. But like I say, a tiny sample size with FC Utrecht. I'm not entirely sure about this transfer. Look, I will give him my 100% backing, no doubt about it. Anyone that pulls on that Oxford shirt, I will give my backing to. He's got the number 11 that's been vacated by Malcom Ebiowei. That's obviously, there's a bit of weight to that shirt number at this football club. So, good luck to him. And like I say, I will support him all the way, but I can't shake that this is... I can't shake the peculiar nature of this transfer. The fact, like I say, we've doubled our transfer record in 6 months to bring this lad in, less than 6 months to bring this lad in, who's got a relatively small sample size at his previous club, that evidently has had some kind of injury issue if he was out for the first 6 months of his time at FC Utrecht. Look, I can accept if it was a freak injury, the first of his career, the first major injury of his career. But we've signed a lot of players with big injury histories in the past. I will remain sceptical of this transfer. Like I say, most of it has to do with the transfer fee, because that's an awful lot of money for a player with not a massive sample size at his previous club. I'm sure the fact that he's got a couple of lads that he knows in Hidde Vest and Ruben Rodriguez, I'm sure that'll help him bed in and all that kind of thing. But it's a lot of money, and you could say it's a statement, but is it the kind of statement the club want to be sending out there? Because at least to me, maybe I'm looking at this with sceptical yellow glasses on, this says to me we've signed a player with a small sample size, and like I say, you can decide for yourself whether it's a coincidence that he declared for Indonesia recently. I'll let you make your minds up on that one. But let me know your thoughts on the signing of Ole Romeny from FC Utrecht for, like I say, a fee reported at €2 million, £1.6 million. Look, Oxford, if that's not a transfer fee, please, I'd happily be corrected on that. But you haven't, in the statement, you haven't said anything about a transfer fee, so I can only go off what has been reported, and that is a transfer fee that is double our record fee ever paid for a player. Let me know your thoughts on Ole Romeny's arrival, and also on Will Goodwin going out on loan to Wigan Athletic. I'll see you for the review of the Exeter game.